Chris, for that kind and heartfelt introduction. It means a lot that you could be here today since you're one of his all-time favorites. Wow, what an honor it is to be here tonight for my dad. This nomination would mean the world to him. Growing up, I didn't understand the significance of rugby to my dad. Don't get me wrong, I had fun tagging along to practice and to the games with my soccer ball and picking out which players I thought were cute with my sister and my friends. But as I grew older, I began to appreciate some of the opportunities that rugby provided, like traveling and bonding. My family got to accompany the University of Arizona Wildcat rugby team to New Zealand and Australia in 2006. And at 17 years old, I began to see that there was more to rugby than a bunch of guys wearing short shorts and hitting one another. We watched the boys play their best, have a beer with the other team after the match, and then at night sing silly songs through the streets. It was a chance to practice time and place on and off the field. It was even rugby that led my sister and me to find our perfect colleges at Cal Poly, San Luis Obispo, and College of Charleston. But still, I did not fully understand my dad's affinity for the sport until recently. After his sudden passing in August of 2013, our family received overwhelming support from the community. So many rugby players through the decades and across the world showed up and shared their inspiring stories about how coach shaped their lives. This experience that continues even today demonstrates why rugby was so important to my dad. It was a metaphor for life that taught camaraderie, culture, sportsmanship, competition, and how to rebound from disappointments. Most importantly, rugby is about lasting and true relationships. Dave Sitton wore many hats. He was a father, husband, coach, friend, an entrepreneur, a two-time Emmy Award winner as a sports announcer, a radio talk show host, a runner-up for congressman, and an honorary member of the Davis-Monthan 55th Rescue Squadron, just to name a few. Of all these hats, his all-time favorite hat, other than dad, was coach. When he found rugby in 1974, at the age of 19, he picked up that ball and he ran with it. He ran with it all the way to New Zealand, England, Wales, Australia, Scotland, Ireland, Canada, Hong Kong, and many states within the US. As he matured, he realized that this game was so much more than a sport. The conditioning, the broken bones, the strict dress codes on airplanes, and the celebrations after the match. It was merely character building. Truly, it was a dress rehearsal for everyday life. Rugby is about opportunity, friendships, and learning to be a man. Just last week, as I was catching up with a friend at the pool, I met a new resident at my apartment complex. We were getting to know each other, and he shared a story about how he ended up in Scottsdale. To my surprise, this young man said that it was actually Dave Sitton, his rugby coach, who wrote a letter of recommendation for his job. At this point, he had no idea who I was, so I just nodded my head, and he continued. He went on to say how special it was that his coach not only wrote the letter, but also personally called his hiring manager to follow up and reiterate that this man would be a great asset to the company. No one had ever done anything like that for him. And as he was reminiscing on the experience, and he was hired, the young man was clearly moved and touched by the gesture of his coach. At the end of his story, I could not have been more proud. I could not have been more proud to divulge Dave Sitton is my dad. This is a perfect example of how his life created so many ripple effects for so many people. And it all started with the pitch. Thank you.